If you don't set boundaries in your relationship, you're going to end up breaking up with your partner who you love. Hey, I'm Coach Benny, and I help people get their exes back, which means that all day I get on phone calls with people that have been broken up with out of the blue by somebody that has a laundry list of issues that they are breaking up with them over, and they never spoke up about it before then. Each day I talk to people on the phone, about 8 people a day, and on that phone call I hear their entire story, everything that happened in the relationship. Okay? And one of the most common problems that I hear is somebody who got broken up with out of the blue, and there's either no explanation or explanations that either don't make sense because that person's kind of rationalizing their feelings, or, it's just things they've never heard before. And that's coming from, that person having a lack of boundaries and not communicating in the relationship. We all have boundaries, whether we're conscious of them or not, because even if we're not actively conscious of them, we're going to get some kind of ick factor or whatever when somebody crosses the line, and we're going to have this kind of weird visceral reaction to it. Now, you stack up enough instances of those, and you're going to start to get disconnected from your person. If you don't do them the service of letting them know, like, when these things come up, you're going to end up hurting them really bad because you didn't speak up. Now, typically, the kind of person that doesn't set boundaries in the relationship is somebody that's been emotionally neglected in childhood. You might think back to your family and think, well, mom and dad are always there for me. They paid the bills and they did their best with what they could. And that's all well and great and probably true. However, if your mom wasn't writing you notes in your lunchbox, taking you aside, talking to you about your feelings, if you weren't being actively nurtured from an emotional perspective, you were not getting what you needed to get communication skills that maybe other people with a different, a more secure attachment style would have gotten in their childhood. So to some extent, you drew the short stick. Now, at the end of the day, your job is to learn better how to reach into your own body and understand your feelings and vocally communicate that to your partner, so that way you can tell them what your needs are and you can tell them what your boundaries are. Chances are, if you're not doing this with your partner, you're probably not doing it at work with your boss or with your family either. And now all of a sudden you're going to get spread super thin, and you're going to be really overwhelmed by everything that you've got going in your life. And then what tends to happen is that some life event will happen, like a death in the family, or you'll lose your job, or whatever the case is, and the whole thing will just come crumbling down, and you're going to break up with your person again because you got overwhelmed and you never set boundaries with them. If you have a history of running from other people, running away from your problems, short relationships, not setting boundaries, people pleasing, okay, click into my profile, click this link right here, set up a call with me, and I want to help you protect your relationship for the long term.